Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our presentation. Today the topic of our presentation is vector graphics. My name is Nusrat Jahan and my ID is 192152902. I will be introducing you to the concept of vector graphics, and later on my teammates Sajia Afrin and Jannatul Anjum Shefa will get into the more details. So to get into the details, at first we have to know what is vector graphics. Vector graphics is a form of computer graphics in which visual images are created directly from geometrical shapes on a Cartesian plane. Shapes such as points, lines, curves, polygons are used to make a more complex shape. Shapes can be edited by moving points. These points are called nodes. Here we can see a node. By moving this node, we can give this shape to the shape we want. Here we can see an example of a basketball court. From these simple shapes such as circles, some curves, some straight lines, we gave it to a more complex shape. So next we'll be talking about the uses of vector graphics. So the main advantage of vector graphics is it can be scaled or resized to our desirable shape. That's why it is vastly used in architectural drawings and CAD programs. It is also used in flowcharts. We know that brands create logos, and these logos needs to be used in various purposes. That's why we use vector graphics to create logos. We also create cartoons, clip arts, etc. From vector images. We know that in today's dynamic websites, it is very important to load the pages very quickly. So since the size of vector graphic image is very small, that's why these vector images are used in websites. Another useful side of vector graphic is the fonts and specialized text effects. Next, my teammate Jannatul Anjum Shefa will be talking about the advantages of vector graphics. Thank you.
Thanks, Nusrat, for inviting me. Now I will continue further information. Well, this is me, Janataranjan Shifa, ID 192152787. In this section, I will try to discuss about advantages and disadvantages of vector graphics. As we know, everything has some advantages and disadvantages. So in this section, let's have a look in the advantages part. Advantages like scalable without losses to quality, can be compressed without quality loss, and one more thing is small file size and easy to rest. If we explain about those advantages, part like resolution independent. Regardless of how much the image is enlarged or reduced, the image definition and quality remain the same. And small file size like easily transfer over the internet. Let's move on to the next slide, like disadvantages of vectors. Disadvantages are not suitable for complex graphic display and rasterization required for display. Lower color quality than raster images. They do not support as many colors and not good for photographic images. In this in this slide, we will come to know about popular and useful vector graphic software. Which are Zara Extreme, Adobe Illustrator, Corel Draw, Inkscape. Inkscape is an open source software like similar to Adobe Illustrator. That's all about my explanation. And further information will give our next group member, Satya. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Shefa. I am Satya. My ID is 192.152.907, and I'm going to talk about common vector file formats. The most common types of vector files are AI, Adobe Illustrator, EPS, Encapsulated PostScript, PDF, Portable Document Format, SVG, Scalable Vector Graphics. First of all, AI, which stands for Adobe Illustrator, is the proprietary Adobe file types for vector images. Industry standard used by developer of vector graphics, used to create, save, and archive original artwork. Next is EPS. EPS is a vector file format often required for professional and high quality image printing. PostScript printers and image setters typically use EPS to produce fast, detailed images such as billboard advertising. Graphics developers generally save a copy of the AI file in EPS format because it can be opened by computers running different operating systems. Preferred format for vendors or clients who use the graphics in publication due to its portability. Next is metagraphics, a multidisciplined approach to design including graphic design, illustration, and industrial design, large posters, and attention-grabbing marketing collateral. Metagraphics can contain vector and raster data. Shapes in vector graphics can be filled with textures and patterns that are raster graphics, useful when layering text on top of raster graphics. Here are two examples of metagraphics. One is WMF, Windows Metafile, EPS, Encapsulated PostScript. More vector formats. Scalable Vector Graphics, SVG. SVG is a web-friendly vector file format as opposed to pixel-based raster files like JPG, EGS. Vector files store images via mathematical formulas based on point and lines on a grid. Standard format created by W3C. Versatile all-purpose vector format. Next is PLT. Hewlett Packard Graphics Language Plot File. CDR. A CDR is a vector graphics file that stores a digital image encoded and compressed to be opened and manipulated by a vector editing software program. Files saved with the CDR extension are designed for use with CorelDRAW products as well as other Corel applications. DXF is short for Drawing Exchange Format or Drawing Interchange Format and is a type of vector file. Engineers, designers, and architects often use the DXF format for 2D and 3D drawing during product design. WMF, Windows Metafile. That's all about our presentation. In conclusion, I'd like to thank our honorable teacher for watching our presentation. That's all.